There exists a strange and yet profoundly meaningful phenomenon that has fascinated thinkers, psychologists, and even neuroscientists for years. Two people thinking of each other at the same time. It seems improbable, almost mystical at first glance, but the reality is that human beings are far more connected than we often realize. Our thoughts are not random. They are constructed from experience, emotion, and deeply embedded patterns. And when two people share an intense emotional or intellectual bond, they begin to display signs that transcend logic alone. There are moments when an unexplainable urge compels you to reach out to someone. It happens suddenly, without warning, in the middle of a routine task or even in the quiet of reflection. You are not actively thinking about them, yet their presence invades your mind with such intensity that it feels as though they are calling out to you in silence. You hesitate, wondering if this feeling is mere coincidence, yet deep down something tells you it is not. And then just as you pick up your phone, their message arrives, or you find that they have attempted to reach you at the exact same moment. It is almost eerie, this synchronicity of thought and action, but it happens too frequently to be ignored. This phenomenon is not random. It is rooted in the way human minds are connected through subconscious patterns. Our thoughts are not isolated occurrences. They are shaped by emotional bonds, shared experiences, and the neurological pathways formed over time. When two people share a deep connection, their minds begin to align in ways that transcend direct communication. The urge to reach out is not just an impulse. It is the result of an unseen dialogue taking place between two subconscious minds, responding to one another across time and space. There is an explanation for this in psychology, particularly in the study of emotional resonance and mirror neurons. These neurons, which allow us to empathize and reflect the emotions of others, play a role in creating a mental link between individuals. When you think of someone intensely, your brain sends out signals that seek recognition. And if the other person is equally attuned to you, they may subconsciously pick up on that energy. It is why two people can feel compelled to check on each other at the same moment, even when separated by great distances. It is important to understand that this connection does not form with just anyone. It is most often observed in relationships with a strong emotional history, friendships, deep romantic bonds, and even family ties. The brain remembers patterns of interaction, and when two individuals have been emotionally synchronized in the past, that alignment can persist even in periods of silence. The urge to reach out is a reflection of that bond, a signal that neither mind has truly moved away from the other, even in absence. Dreams are not just random fragments of imagination. They are deeply tied to the subconscious mind, reflecting emotions, unresolved thoughts, and connections that persist beyond waking awareness. When two people share a strong mental or emotional bond, they often find themselves appearing in each other's dreams, sometimes on the same night, without any logical explanation. It is as though their subconscious minds are communicating in ways that words cannot, pulling each other into a shared space beyond the limits of physical reality. This experience can be startling. You wake up with a vivid memory of someone you haven't spoken to in a while, feeling as though they were right there with you. Sometimes the dream is abstract, full of symbols and emotions rather than direct interactions, yet the presence of that person is undeniable. And then, later that day or week, they mention having dreamed of you too, or you receive an unexpected message from them, reinforcing the idea that something deeper is at play. This is not mere coincidence, but a reflection of the subconscious connection that still exists between you. Neuroscience suggests that dreams are influenced by memory consolidation, emotional processing, and unresolved thoughts. When someone is thinking about you intensely, their energy and emotional focus on you may trigger a response in your own subconscious, causing you to dream of them without consciously knowing why. Likewise, if you are thinking of someone persistently, their mind may pick up on that mental energy, leading them to dream of you as well. The subconscious does not operate on logical reasoning. It responds to emotion, familiarity, and psychological patterns. Shared dreams often occur in relationships where emotional depth exists, even if communication has ceased. This is because the brain holds on to emotional imprints from past interactions. And when those emotions are strong, they can manifest in dreams as a way of processing unresolved feelings or reinforcing the significance of that connection. It is not just about nostalgia or wishful thinking. It is about the mind's way of maintaining bonds that feel unfinished or deeply meaningful. When you dream of someone unexpectedly, it is worth considering the possibility that they too have been thinking of you. The subconscious is not bound by physical distance or time. It moves beyond rational limitations, allowing connections to persist in ways that science is still striving to fully understand. There are moments when an unfamiliar emotion washes over you, one that does not seem to belong to your current state of mind. You may be going about your day as usual, focused on your tasks, when suddenly a wave of sadness, longing, or even joy emerges out of nowhere. It feels foreign, as though it is not entirely your own, yet it lingers, demanding attention. You pause, trying to trace its origin, but nothing in your environment explains this shift in mood. And then, seemingly by chance, you hear from someone who has been on your mind. You learn that they were experiencing intense emotions at the very moment you felt that inexplicable change. This phenomenon is more than coincidence. It is a reflection of the deep emotional connection that exists between two individuals. The human mind is not just an isolated system. It is sensitive to external energies, particularly those tied to people with whom we share a strong bond. Emotion, at its core, is energy. And when someone is thinking about you with deep intensity, that energy can be transmitted in subtle ways, triggering an emotional response within you. It is why people in close relationships, such as twins, close friends, or romantic partners, often report feeling each other's emotions even when separated by great distances. Psychologists refer to this as emotional mirroring, a process in which individuals unconsciously pick up on the feelings of those they are deeply connected to. This is not limited to physical proximity. The brain, through memory and emotional conditioning, remains attuned to those it has shared meaningful experiences with. If someone is missing you, hurting, or longing for you, and if that connection is still active within your subconscious, you may feel echoes of their emotions without direct communication. What makes this even more intriguing is how often these emotions align with moments of significant thought or reflection. You may feel a sudden sadness, only to later discover that the person was thinking about you with regret or nostalgia. You may feel warmth and peace at an unexpected moment, only to learn that they were remembering a happy time with you. These shared emotional waves suggest that thoughts are not isolated. They carry weight, and when the bond is strong enough, they can reach beyond conscious awareness, manifesting as emotions that seem to arrive from nowhere, yet carry a meaning we instinctively recognize. You are walking down the street, lost in your own thoughts, when suddenly you hear their name. It could be in a passing conversation, on the radio, or in a random piece of text you happen to glance at, that it jolts you out of your mental state as if the universe itself is drawing your attention to them. And then, as the day unfolds, you encounter more reminders. A song you both loved plays unexpectedly. A place you once visited together appears in a movie, or you stumble upon an old message from them just as they cross your mind. It feels too frequent, too aligned to be mere coincidence. These moments are often dismissed as selective attention, the brain noticing patterns simply because you are thinking of them. But when they persist, when they occur even at times when they are far from your conscious awareness, it suggests something deeper. The subconscious mind is always working, filtering through memories, associations, and emotions When someone is thinking of you intensely, that mental energy can create a resonance, drawing your attention to things that connect back to them. It is as if your mind is subtly tuned to their presence, seeking out external confirmations of an internal bond. Beyond psychology, there is a phenomenon known as synchronicity, a concept introduced by Carl Jung. Synchronicity suggests that certain events, though seemingly unrelated, carry a deeper meaning when they align in a significant way. When you repeatedly encounter signs of someone, hearing their name, seeing their initials, or being reminded of shared experiences, it may indicate that they are not only in your thoughts, but also in theirs. These signs act as subconscious signals, reinforcing the idea that there is an ongoing mental connection between you. Some might argue that this is just the mind's way of making sense of emotions, but consider how often these signs appear right before or after the person reaches out, or how they seem to increase in frequency when emotions between you are heightened. The mind does not operate in isolation. It interacts with external stimuli in ways we do not always fully grasp. When you start seeing reminders of someone repeatedly, it may not just be nostalgia or coincidence. It could be an indication that their thoughts are pulling you toward them, just as yours are drawn to them. You are alone in a room, focused on your work or simply lost in thought, when suddenly you feel something strange, an inexplicable sense that someone is there with you. You look around, but no one is physically present. Still, the feeling lingers, as though an unseen presence is nearby. It is not fear or paranoia. Rather, it is a subtle awareness, a quiet recognition of something beyond the physical senses. And often, when this happens, the person you are thinking of either reaches out soon after or later mentions that they were thinking of you at the exact same time. This experience is not as unusual as it may seem. The human mind is deeply sensitive to connections, particularly with those we have shared strong emotional bonds with. Our thoughts are not just internal, they carry emotional weight, and that weight can be felt even in the absence of direct contact. It is why people sometimes report feeling as if a loved one is nearby, even when they are miles apart. It is not about hallucination or superstition. It is about the way the mind processes emotional connections that refuse to fade. Psychologically, this phenomenon can be understood as a form of emotional imprinting. When we spend significant time with someone, their presence becomes deeply embedded in our subconscious. Our brain records their voice, their mannerisms, their energy, and their impact on our emotions. Even when they are not physically present, these imprints can resurface unexpectedly, triggered by memory, emotion, or even an unspoken connection that still exists between you. This can also be linked to the concept of energetic resonance. Some researchers in quantum theory and psychology suggest that thoughts and emotions create energetic frequencies which can be felt by those attuned to them. If someone is intensely thinking about you or longing for your presence, their emotional energy may be strong enough for you to sense it, even from a distance. Many people dismiss these moments as tricks of the mind, but if they happen repeatedly, especially in relation to the same person, it is worth paying attention to. The sense of presence is not always imaginary. It is often the mind's way of signaling that the connection between you still exists in ways that defy logic, but remain undeniably real. When you feel as though someone is with you, even when they are far away, it may be because in some way they are you. You are sitting quietly, not particularly thinking about anything significant, when suddenly a strange sensation washes over you. It might be a sudden warmth, an unexpected chill, or even a tingling feeling on your skin. It could be a shiver that runs down your spine, or a gentle pressure on your shoulder, almost as if someone had placed their hand there. For a brief moment, it catches you off guard. You cannot explain it logically, but it feels as though someone somewhere is reaching out to you not physically, but through some unseen force. And more often than not, the person who comes to mind in that instant is someone you have a deep emotional connection with. This kind of experience is more common than people acknowledge, yet it is often dismissed as nothing more than a passing bodily reaction. But what if it is more than that? The human body is highly responsive to emotions, not just our own, but also the emotions of those we are connected to. When someone thinks about you with strong emotion, whether it is love, longing, or even sadness, that emotional energy can manifest physically. Your body reacts before your mind fully registers the significance of what is happening. There is a strong connection between thoughts, emotions, and physiological responses. Science has already demonstrated that emotions are not abstract concepts. They trigger biochemical reactions within the body. The way your heart rate changes when you feel anxious, the way your stomach tightens when you sense danger, or the way your skin tingles when you are deeply moved by something. All of these reactions are proof that emotions have a direct impact on the body. If someone is intensely focused on you, whether in longing or deep thought, their emotional energy could influence you in ways you do not consciously recognize, but your body does. This is particularly true for people who share a strong bond. Many have reported feeling sudden warmth when thinking of a loved one, only to receive a call or message from them moments later. Others have spoken of experiencing a sudden physical reaction, like goosebumps, or an unexplainable sense of calm just before receiving unexpected news about someone they care about. The body often knows before the mind does. When an unexplained sensation arises and a specific person immediately comes to mind, it is worth considering that it might not be random. It could be a subtle physical sign that their thoughts and emotions are reaching you in ways that defy traditional understanding but remain undeniably real. You are going through your day completely focused on your routine when out of nowhere their voice plays in your mind. It is not just a vague memory or a fleeting thought. It is as if they are right there speaking to you. You can hear the exact tone they use, the rhythm of their words, and even the emotions behind them. Sometimes it happens when you are making a decision and their voice offers advice as if they were guiding you. Other times it comes in the form of a phrase they used to say, a joke they would make, or even a simple call of your name echoing in your mind as if they had just spoken it aloud. This experience is not just nostalgia. It is a sign of a deep psychological and emotional imprint. When two people share a meaningful connection, their voices become embedded in each other's subconscious minds. The brain, being a master of pattern recognition, recalls voices with incredible accuracy, often replaying them in moments of emotional significance. If someone is thinking about you intensely, your subconscious may pick up on that energy, triggering the sound of their voice in your mind. It is a way of maintaining a connection, even in silence. Psychologists refer to this as auditory memory recall, a phenomenon in which the mind retrieves stored sounds and plays them back as vividly as if they were happening in real time. However, what makes this experience interesting is that it often occurs at moments of deep thought or emotion. If their voice comes to you when you are feeling lonely, uncertain, or even happy, it may be because they are thinking about you with the same intensity at that moment. The emotional energy tied to those memories makes them surface when a subconscious connection is at play. Many people have reported hearing the voice of someone they have not spoken to in a long time, only to receive a message or call from them shortly after. Others have had the experience of hearing their name being called out loud, only to turn around and find no one there. These moments are often brushed off as the mind playing tricks, but they may actually be subtle signs of an ongoing connection, one that is felt not just in thought, but in the very way the mind processes sound and memory. When their voice comes to you unexpectedly, it is worth considering that they may be thinking of you just as strongly. You are scrolling through your phone, flipping through channels, or walking through a crowd when, without meaning to, you see someone who reminds you of them. It could be a stranger with a similar posture, a familiar hairstyle, or the way they laugh. Just enough resemblance to make you do a double take. For a split second, your mind tricks you into believing it might actually be them, only to realize that it is not. And then, in the days that follow, you keep encountering reminders, objects they loved, places you visited together, a scent that instantly transports you to a shared memory. These signs seem to multiply, appearing at random yet feeling undeniably connected. This is not just a matter of coincidence, it is a sign of the subconscious at work. The human brain is designed to recognize patterns, and when a person has been significant in your life, their presence becomes embedded in your mental, resembles their essence. But what is most intriguing is that these reminders tend to appear more frequently when the person is also thinking about you. Psychologists have studied this phenomenon in relation to the brain's reticular activating system, RAS, which filters information based on emotional relevance. When someone has been on your mind or when they are thinking of you, the RAS becomes more sensitive to cues that connect to them. This is why their favorite song suddenly plays at unexpected moments, why you keep noticing their name in random places, or why people who look like them seem to appear more often. It is as if your mind is subtly tuned to their energy, picking up on reminders that might otherwise go unnoticed. Beyond psychology, some believe this is a form of synchronicity, where external events mirror internal emotions. It is not just your mind recalling them, it is a reflection of a deeper connection that still exists between you. If these signs appear repeatedly, it suggests that their presence is not merely a thing of the past, but an active force in your life. Perhaps they are thinking of you just as intensely, and in ways neither of you fully understand. Your thoughts are reaching for each other, creating a pattern that keeps pulling you back to them. You wake up in the morning, going about your day as usual, when suddenly their name comes to mind without warning. There is no obvious trigger, no recent conversation, no reminder in your surroundings, yet they appear in your thoughts as vividly as if they had just spoken to you. You try to shake it off, but their presence lingers in your mind throughout the day, surfacing at odd moments. It is not just a passing thought. It is persistent, accompanied by a strong feeling, whether it is warmth, nostalgia, or even an unexplained sense of longing. And then, out of nowhere, they reach out to you, or you hear about them through someone else. This kind of experience is far too common to be ignored. It suggests that thoughts are not isolated. They carry energy. And when two people share a deep connection, their thoughts can align in ways that defy logical explanation. When you cannot stop thinking about someone without any apparent reason, it is often because they are thinking about you as well. It is as if their mental focus on you is strong enough to stir something in your subconscious, making you aware of their presence even from a distance. Neuroscientists have long studied the ways in which thoughts, emotions, and memories are linked. The brain is an intricate web of associations, constantly processing information, even when we are not consciously aware of it. When a person is important to you, whether romantically, emotionally, or spiritually, your mind remains attuned to their presence, even in their absence. If they are thinking about you intensely, their thoughts may send subtle signals that your subconscious picks up, causing them to surface in your mind unexpectedly. This is why many people experience moments of telepathic-like connection, where they suddenly think of someone and moments later receive a message or call from them. It is not just random chance. It is a reflection of the mental and emotional bond that exists between two people. When emotions are strong, the connection becomes even more pronounced, leading to instances where you find yourself thinking about them at the exact moment they are thinking of you. Some refer to this as energetic resonance, the idea that thoughts and emotions create a frequency that can be picked up by those we are deeply connected to. This would explain why certain people appear in your thoughts, seemingly out of nowhere, yet their presence feels significant. If this happens repeatedly,